And Trump diapers make insurrection easy. You'll never need to poop in the Capitol again. Trump diapers, for when you're losing your shit in more ways than one. Whether you're busy ending democracy or just rage posting on social media without consequence. Trump diapers let you spread Russian propaganda all day in dry comfort.
Did you know Trump broke his favorite putter in half after watching himself photoshopped as a screaming baby? The Lincoln Project found his kryptonite, and it's not corruption charges or criminal indictments. It's being laughed at. When 8 parody ads hit YouTube, Trump missed multiple golf shots, blamed everything from the wind to his caddy, then had an absolute meltdown at Mar-a-Lago. Want to see what pushed the former president to demand home addresses of the people who made these ads? Let's break down this diaper disaster.
Has this ever happened to you? You're sitting in court again, under pressure and stress, and then a warm feeling comes over you. Uncomfortably warm. It's pressure, all right. Down there. That's when you need Trump diapers, the ultimate in pulling fluids from your delicate orange skin.
I always look orange.
With Trump diapers, you can sit all day in luxurious comforts. Trump diapers, the elite adult incontinence product for owning libs on the go while you go. Trump diapers contain a comforting, patent-pending fiber that's...
Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
When American troops perish in the line of duty, the remains are treated with the greatest honor and quiet dignity. 4 U.S. service members defending our interests and alliances in Europe perished last week. They are placed aboard special Air Force transport planes and returned to their home soil and into the grieving arms of their loved ones.
Ever wonder what happens when you Photoshop Trump's face onto a screaming baby? The Lincoln Project found out when they launched their series of 8 parody ads. These weren't just funny videos, they were psychological warfare missiles aimed directly at Trump's biggest weakness, his ego. The project's team didn't just randomly decide to mock Trump. They strategically crafted these ads as precision strikes, knowing exactly which buttons to push. These weren't your typical boring political attack ads with deep voices and scary music. Nope, these were carefully designed to make people point and laugh at the former president, something he absolutely cannot stand.
As the families of these 4 lost heroes contemplate life without their husbands, brothers, fathers, or sons, Donald Trump is showing them the respect he thinks they deserve by golfing again. Every president has accepted the responsibility to greet our fallen heroes. It doesn't matter the party. Where is their president today? Golfing again.
Take the Boss Baby parody, for example. The Lincoln Project brilliantly spliced actual footage of Trump's courtroom tantrums with scenes from the animated film. The result? A masterpiece portraying the former president as nothing more than a giant toddler in a suit, complete with pouty lips and tiny hands. Watching Trump's actual courtroom behavior next to a cartoon baby really drives home how childish his demeanor can be when he doesn't get his way. Then there's the mock diaper commercial that had social media users crying with laughter. For when your president acts like a big baby, that tagline hit harder than Trump hits the McDonald's drive-thru. The ad didn't just go for cheap laughs. It deliberately attacked Trump's carefully constructed tough guy image, replacing it with that of a whiny, incontinent man-child. What makes these ads so effective is how they exploit Trump's Achilles heel. According to political analysts,
he's too old. He's out of touch, losing his marbles at an alarming rate.
They have sinks where no water comes out.
I do want to remind everybody, this is the guy that worked with the former Klansman.
I will be Donald Trump's most loyal advocate to make sure his nominees go to the Supreme Court.
You turn it on, no water comes out. You want to wash your hands, right?
Yeah.
And you've seen this, and you turn on the sink and it's very little.
Trump can brush off accusations of corruption or dishonesty. He's built his entire brand on being the rule-breaking outsider, but being laughed at, that's his kryptonite. His fragile ego simply can't process becoming the punchline. One particularly savage ad depicted tiny-handed Trump as a toddler refusing to leave the White House, clutching the resolute desk while Secret Service agents tried to lure him out with a Happy Meal. Sound familiar? It's basically a documentary of what happened after the 2020 election. Trump's team scrambled to do damage control, claiming these ads were beneath dignity and disrespectful to the office. That's pretty rich coming from a guy who spent years mocking disabled reporters, giving childish nicknames to opponents, and turning political discourse into kindergarten-level insults. Here's the beautiful irony of the whole situation. While Trump's team was busy claiming these ads lack dignity, their boss was having an absolute conniption fit on the golf course. The Lincoln Project didn't just create funny videos, they crafted the perfect psychological trap for a man who can handle any accusation except being laughed at. And boy, did their plan work beautifully. When those babyface parodies finally reached Trump's eyeballs at Mar-a-Lago, what followed was a meltdown of epic proportions. During what should have been a relaxing round of golf, Trump's game completely fell apart. He missed putt after putt, but in classic Trump fashion, it couldn't possibly be his fault. First, it was the grass being too long, then the wind was blowing too hard. At one point, he even blamed Barack Obama, because obviously the former president controls the weather at Trump's golf courses. The tantrum escalated when Trump actually snapped his favorite putter in half after a particularly embarrassing miss. And then, get this, he immediately denied it happened despite multiple witnesses. Talk about life imitating art. It was exactly the kind of behavior the Lincoln Project had just finished mocking in their ads. But the meltdown didn't stop on the green. Mar-a-Lago staff reported that Trump was still fuming days later, his face probably matching the orange hue of his spray tan. In a particularly disturbing turn, he demanded his team track down the home addresses of Lincoln Project founders. Nothing says I'm totally stable and not at all proving their point, like plotting revenge against people who made fun of you. Trump's aides, showing rare good judgment, managed to talk him out of recording a response video. They realized what Trump couldn't, that any reaction would only provide more ammunition for the Lincoln Project's portrayal of his childish behavior. It would be like handing them a sequel script for free. Meanwhile, online, Number Donnie Diapers was trending as thousands of memes spread across social media. The Lincoln Project had clearly struck gold by targeting Trump's one true vulnerability, his pathological need to be taken seriously. Political commentators couldn't help but point out the obvious. By melting down so spectacularly, Trump had essentially validated everything the ads claimed about him. His reaction became a bonus feature to the Lincoln Project's campaign, giving them exactly what they wanted. The genius of the Lincoln Project's strategy was using humor as their weapon instead of outrage. While previous political attacks bounced off Trump's Teflon hide, these ads penetrated his armor because they made people laugh at him, not fear him. They cracked the Trump code and exposed what lies beneath his tough guy facade, a fragile ego that shatters at the first sign of ridicule. And here's the truth, folks. The Lincoln Project totally figured out Trump's biggest weakness. They cracked the Trump code by understanding that his ego is more fragile than a snowflake. While other political groups try boring attacks about policy, these genius pranksters went straight for ridicule, the one thing Trump can't handle. When America laughs at him, he loses his mind completely. That's the secret sauce. All those court cases, whatever, but make fun of his hair or tiny hands. Total meltdown mode. Hit that subscribe button and drop your favorite Trump freakout in the comments below. Remember, nothing scares Grumpy Trumpy more than being the punchline.